Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I thought it would be a good idea to do a part 2 of a video I just posted called The Best Advice I Can Give a Young Man. Because as I watched this, there's so much more information that I can give you young guys to help you prevent making a mistake that will basically be a mistake for the rest of your life. And I talked about how the best advice I can give you is don't go out there and have all these kids with women that you're not going to marry or you're not in love with and not trying to build a future with. And the consequences when you make that mistake, you can't take it back, as far as now I'm responsible to take care of another individual for at least 18 years. And if you're a good parent all your life, and the consequences are, all of a sudden you working, you're not making a lot of money. All of a sudden you get your check, 18% of it's missing, and you pissed off and you don't understand why. Because we make these mistakes, and by the time we realize they're mistakes, we've already made them. So I put together a little list here to help you guys to say, hey, I'm gonna give you this information before you make that mistake, and hopefully given this information you won't make that mistake, because once you realize what's gonna happen, you ain't trying to make that mistake. You know what's at stake at now at this point before you make that mistake. Because again, what I'm about to mention here in this little video, you can't go anywhere randomly and get this information. You find out after the fact, and that is not a good thing. So I wrote these down because I'm like, I should have mentioned these in the other video, but I didn't write them down. So here they are. Again, after you've had that baby and y'all ain't together, she go down there and file that, I need some support. And they go looking for the guy to help to make that baby immediately. They take 18% of your money. And this is how, and this is actually a true story. Somebody told me this because they thought they were clever. They got caught up in that whole having a baby with somebody that they're not going to be with. And all of a sudden, they start taking 18% off their check. And they said this, okay, well, I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. So what I'm going to do to recoup that money, because most of us on any given day of our lives, if somebody were to just walk up and start taking 18% of your money, you're going to miss it. It's like I've already budgeted all this money, what little money it is to pay rent, food, and all this stuff and whatever. And then all of a sudden somebody come and take 18% of that. So now you have to try to recoup some of that money because you need it. It ain't just, it was just extra spending money. I just don't have it now, but I can still pay my bills on time. So this guy, and I think a lot of guys kind of think like this, because I probably would think like this too if I was in that situation. Okay, they got 18% of my money, ain't shit I can do about it. And, it is what it is, because I should be responsible for a child that I brought into this world. So I'm just going to go get me a little part-time gig and make up for that 18% so I can put that back in the budget. Guess what? When you start working more, they take 18% more of it. So if you got another job, they're going to take 18% of that part-time check money. Because I was given a contract that was kind of similar to that, and I vetoed it quickly because I went to a music attorney and said, read this. He's like, no, you don't want this. Scratch this out. And this is really interesting. It was actually my very first contract that I was given, me and these other guys, because I went in as a production writer and producer for this rap act. So this is how the contract read, or this is how the clause went. We signed the contract. We making money with them. We producing product. They paying us a product. We take some of that money that we generated from them, open up a Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise. In the contract, it states this: any original money or any business ventures that are derived from the original money, we get a percentage of that money. So that means they're going to get a percentage of the Kentucky Fried Chicken, since the funding came from the original money, and so on and so forth. And it wasn't like a 5 or 10 year deal. That was a lifetime. Anything that came from that original money, they just constantly getting paid off us. It's kind of the same thing with that child support thing. They take 18%, and then you say, okay, well, let me go find another job and recoup that money because I need it. They're going to take 18% of that check too. And it keeps going, so please be aware of that, because this is something that no one's going to tell you until after the fact, that, when you in that position and they taking 18% and you're like, I need to recoup. You go out there and get another little sad gig. They find out if it's a legal job, where you're not getting paid under the table, and they got your social security number, they're taking 18% of that too. So please be aware of that. And I'm sure this is the first time you probably have ever heard that, to say, damn, I didn't know that, Morris, man. Thank you. Number two, like I told you in the other video, if you don't pay, and sometimes you just can't pay, you don't have a job, and you go to jail. And it's like, jail? Yeah, you go to jail. And guess what happens there? That messes up your credit. The fact that you're in jail, it keeps you from getting an even better job to pay your child support. When they look up and see you've been in jail, it fucks up your credit because, you've been in jail. It's hard to get a good car loan because you've been in jail. Hard to get a good job again because you've been in jail. So these are things that you really want to put focus on, to say, man, I didn't know that all that can come from that. Yeah, all that can come from that. The fact that you wasn't thinking, and the only thing was on your mind at that time was getting your groove on, and then after that groove going is over, which only lasted maybe a couple hours in one day, you're on the hook for at least 18 years, if not longer, because some people are not, I guess, fortunate enough to have a long duration of job, meaning that I've been here 10, 15, 20 years. You've been here 5 years, you still got 7 years on child support. Now you lose your job because your job folded or whatever. That money still accumulates. So now when you finally get a job, you got to pay that back money, along with now trying to catch up and be current. So now that goes from 18% to could be like 50 to 60%. So again, we don't think about those things because we don't know nothing about those things until we're forced to deal with those things. And this is the reason why I'm doing this video, because I'm like, it's interesting because I did research, because I'm like, I know guys are in that situation where they're struggling. I once worked and this is one of the coolest part-time jobs I've ever had, market research, where I would come in, they give me a list of people to call and try to get them to come in to do focus groups, and we pay these people anywhere from $50 to $100 plus feed them and give them dinner. And I'm like, I like this job because I'm not calling and begging people for money. I'm actually calling to try to put money in their pocket. And there was a guy there, matter of fact, he sat right next to me, and we talked, became good friends, and he told me that they paid him. How did that go? He would only probably work this job for about X amount of months before child support caught up with him. And it's like, once, they keep running your social security number and it comes up, he working now, let's start taking that money. So he knew the cycle, and like every 4 months. And it's like, that's no way to live, man, that every 4 months you got to quit this job because you're running from child support and then get another job. Then 4 months you go. It's like, it's not the way to live. But, he got caught up in that, and now he's a part of that and can't get out of it and can't take it back. Another one. You can't file bankruptcy. You thinking, okay, I'm going to file bankruptcy. I got away with not paying for that car. I don't care about it. They can take the car back. You can file bankruptcy all day long, because two things that bankruptcy don't protect: child support and that student loans. Those two things you're going to be paying for. Ain't no way you can get around it, or, ain't no way unless you leave the country. But guess what? If you come back to this country, your tab is still mounting, and you're going to be on the hook for that money. So there's no way you can get around that. These are things, again, that most of us don't realize until we're already in that situation, and we got to deal with it. So I thought I would post this video to kind of give you guys kind of the dude from the future, to tell you about what's going to happen to you in the future if you don't, take heed of this information and, do your thing and be, don't make that mistake. But a lot of young guys do. Okay, here's another one. And this one's really sad because, after watching TV or the news 20, 30 years, you start to see things that wasn't the norm years ago. Like, unfortunately, these idiots that go get assault weapons and go to schools and kill innocent ass people. They don't know these people. They don't have a beef with these people. They mad at the world of two people, and as a result that they go kill 16, 17 more people. And then it's like, and then it's in schools, young children. It's sad. I kind of hate to watch the news now, but I'm like, I got to stay informed of what's going on in this crazy ass world, especially in the United States, because I watched yesterday and they had this pie chart, and I wish I could have screen saved it, because they said, and they did a percentage of how this nonsense is more prevalent in the United States than any other country. And the United States chart was like way up here, and all the rest of them was small like this. It's because we got greedy people that allow people to make these guns and sell them to maniacs. But getting back to the story and to round this off, basically, I'm done. I could do another one, but I don't want to run out my time. Let me see much time I got. Okay, I got about 3 more minutes. I'm gonna try to make this quick. The majority of the shows that I watch, you know what? I'm gonna do a whole nother subject on that video alone. So I'm gonna sign off. So I thought that it would be important to give you young guys this information and realize the consequences and what you have to deal with after you've made that mistake and you can't take it back. You know, they take money out your check. They keep taking money out your check. It messes up your credit. You can't file bankruptcy to get it off your back. You're stuck with it. You know, so think about that. You know, because again, no one's saying, "Oh, okay, I can't have any sex." No, I'm just saying, put a rub on that thing. You know, so you won't have to worry about after that romantic moment is over, that for the next 19, 20 years, you're going to be on the hook for raising a child that you shouldn't have had in the first place. So until next time, take care. I hope that whatever I do on my channel was helpful to young people. You know, I try to be, I try my best to try to, give back and give information, because information and knowledge is king. You can do so much in your life when you got the right information. And then you can have a really messed up life if you don't have the right information. So until next time, take care. Thanks for watching.